We got something special cool for you today. This awesome 2005 Subaru WRX STI, one legendary four-door performance vehicle, performance car. We took this one in on trade. This one's got about 143,000 miles on it. This is what we're selling as a value car. Value cars mean that, you know, it's safe to drive, but it's a value car. We're not gonna, you know, put it through the shop and service it to the level of our newer cars. It's pretty much as is, so you can look it over, decide if you want it or not, but you know, if something happens, something goes wrong, it's your car. And you know, I'm actually making a video like this not only to talk about this car and how great it is, we're gonna actually take it out for a spin because this thing's pretty wild, this thing's pretty modified. But I'm also gonna make this video to talk a lot of people out of not buying a car like this, because we have a long history of selling STIs at our store, and there's a long history of STIs that you know, not too long after selling, the engine goes bad, you know, the customer comes back, a lot of times it's a young kid with his dad with his tail between his legs. He was probably out racing and hot rodding it and blew the engine and wants to return it. That's the thing with these cars, is this is a great project car for someone who knows what they're getting into. If you're a young kid who's been saving up your money and this is your dream car, and you're going to use all your money to buy a car like this, and this is going to be your commuter and your only car, you might be setting yourself up for heartbreak, because what's going to happen when you're going to have to repair it, make a major repair, you're going to have the money to be able to fix it, pay someone to fix it. Do you know how to work on it yourself? These are all things that you have to think about. Really, this is not a good car for a young kid. I guarantee you, you know, you give this thing to a young kid, he hot rods it long enough, probably something will break on it. This is a car, you know, of 143,000 miles, it's well modded. It's okay for, you know, occasional bursts of speed, but if you're gonna romp on this thing, drive it like it's stolen all the time, it's gonna break eventually, and just like the rest of them. There's a reason why the STI really has not gained much horsepower. When this came out in 2004, this is a 2005 model, it made about 300 horsepower. You look up a brand new STI in 2024, doesn't make more than 300 horsepower. There's a reason for that. The flat four engine's a fantastic engine, but it can only take so much horsepower, and it can, you know, it can overheat. I think that one of the cylinders, I believe it's one of the cylinders that is prone to overheating in these things. So maybe I'm sure there's ways to modify it and take care of it, so you know, things like that won't happen. But like I said, if you're going to use every spare cent to buy a vehicle like this, you're going to set yourself up for heartbreak. This is a car for someone who wants a project car. They know how to work on it themselves. They have a good relationship with a tech who knows how to work on these things, and it's a great, you know, fun car. You know, maybe commute every, you know, so often in it, but I would want to daily drive this thing. These are super cool cars. They're legendary. I think, you know, in the not too future, this will be a desirable classic. I mean, so many people love these cars. It's you know, it's a cult classic that I think it will be a future classic, maybe in the next 20 or 30 years, if you can keep it running and keep it in good shape. So we'll do a little walk around on this one, and then we'll, more importantly, take it out for a spin, because like I said, this thing is wild. I'm not gonna go too crazy. We're in public roads that represent a company, but we'll put it through its paces. So we have these nice supportive seats, this nice kind of Alcantara cloth material in the middle. I don't know if there are Momo seats. I think the steering wheel was Momo. You have the adjustable center differential, amazing 6-speed gearbox. This has an aftermarket JVC audio system. The AC still blows cold. Aftermarket Duffy gauges. We have an airflow meter right there. Tinted windows. Intercooler water sprayer from the factory, pretty trick stuff. Back in 2004, you know, intercooler sprayer, adjustable center differential, that's stuff that, you know, you don't see, you didn't see on cars back then, let alone on cars today. We can also see it's lowered a little bit. This nice aftermarket wheel and tire package. We have the, at least the original Brembo brake calipers. Really cool front end styling. I love the sound of the Boxer flat four engine. The lenses are pretty clear as well. Sometimes they have a tendency to get fogged up. And you can see in the engine compartment there has been a few modifications done to it. Not exactly sure what they did to it, but we have a few employees here that know about these cars that looked it over. So if you're curious about exactly what they did to it, they could probably talk to them and they can kind of point you in the right direction as far as the modifications go. And man, this is a pretty, you know, considered a compact car back in the day, but man, the back seats in these things is really small. This is a really small car. Of course, we have the aftermarket exhaust on it. Nice big factory spoiler. Got a little bit of a water leak in the trunk. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but like I said, on an older car like this, it's a project car. You're gonna have to deal and fix things like that. Doesn't look like it's too bad as far as the water leak goes. All right, let's get behind the wheel and take it out for a spin. All right, we're taking this 05 STI, heavily modified STI, with 143,000 miles on it, out for a spin. Grab that, make a little bit too much noise. Oh, it's got the original books on it too. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for these vehicles. One of my best friends in the early 2000s, he got one of the first WRXs to come to the US market, an 02 WRX. The STI wasn't out yet. So he modded it pretty much to STI level performance. He put an aftermarket turbo in it, and it was pretty quick. And I guess that you could consider that one a little bit more towards the European one, which I guess the European STI had the 2-liter motor, or the American, the US market STI like this one, had the larger 2.5. I didn't ever have a STI or a WRX, but I had a 02 Outback Sport, kind of in the same family lineage. It had those bug eyes. It was a fun car. I love the sound of these engines, the unequal length headers. Kind of gives it that bump, burbly sound. Sound I absolutely love. This thing is really nice and tight with 143,000 miles on it. The steering feels great. I haven't tested out the acceleration, but some other people who've driven it before me, they said it's pretty quick. I love the look of that big intake right there in the front. It gives it a menacing look. You got that nice sound of the blow-off valve. So we'll test out the acceleration up here, and then we'll fast forward to one of my little favorite curvy roads and see how this thing handles in the curves. Looks like we got a green light, so I'll give it full power and see how it does. I'm not going to go crazy. We're on public roads. Yeah, this thing is fun and it's fast. 143,000 miles. This thing's running strong. Probably more power than it had when it was brand new in stock. Obviously, it's a little bit louder on the highway, 60 miles an hour, which you'd expect in a vehicle like this, but not too bad. Track's pretty straight down the road. And now we'll fast forward to my favorite little secret curvy road we got around here. All right, boom, the magic of editing. Gonna let some of the traffic clear out up here, then we'll take it for a reasonably paced drive up the hill. Like I said, we're not going to go crazy here. Pretty nice in the corners. It's a kind of a bumpy road, so the short suspension is definitely unsettling a little bit versus some other cars like Civic Type R's. I drove a GTI here. Obviously with the more stock suspensions, they did a little bit better on the bumps and stuff like that. It's understandable. Yeah, this thing, once the turbo spools up, it really wants to go. You got to be careful on something like that. There's no stability or traction control. What roads, this thing could get you in trouble. But it is fun in the corners. It's fun in a straight line and fun in the corners. Just as long as it's not too bumpy. But the smooth corners, yeah, this thing eats them right up. Woo. Great driving experience. spin it around and go down the hill. And that'll wrap up our little drive in this STI. The fun is always over a little bit too soon. I wouldn't mind taking this thing out for a little bit of a longer drive. Find some more fun curvy roads. All right, here we go down the hill. This is a great road for testing out cars like this. Any car in general that's performance oriented, because you have these curves and then you have like these bumps and stuff, and you know, it can unsettle the chassis. So you can really see how cars' suspensions hold up on a road like this. And considering how low this thing is, and it's you know, this is 05 suspension technology, it's doing pretty good compared to some newer, more contemporary performance cars. The car is not the happiest in that spot right there, but not too bad. This thing's an absolute hoop. Well, that's about the end of our fun in this STI. Hopefully it was informative, whether you're interested in one like this or one in general. Just like, keep in mind what I said, you know, if you don't have a ton of extra money, you're not good at working on cars yourself, something like this might not be the best car for you. You might need to wait a little bit longer, get something newer under warranty. That can be fun to drive. But if you're looking for a fun project car, something to keep for a long time, you want a future classic, I don't think you can go wrong with a nice STI in good condition, well kept up. Thanks for watching, hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.